Hi, today we're going to work on a Zentangle pattern that they have named Mysealiam. So you can say it Mycelium, kind of like the little parts of mushrooms that grow out of a spore. I'm starting on a piece of paper that is about 4 inches by 4 inches. You can go bigger, you can go smaller, but this is the size I'll be working. I'm going to use the whole square, so I'm not going to add my boundaries just yet because I don't know if I really need them. I'm going to start with a sort of wavy line. I messed it up a little bit, but I'm sure that'll be fine. The next thing I'm going to do is come off about the middle of the line, and I'm not attaching this to the line. I'm going to draw a line that goes up and out. And then I'm going to widen the bottom of the line a little bit, but I'm not touching it to that center line. And then I'll just color this part in. Hopefully this pen will stay with me for the whole activity. It might be running out of ink a little bit. All right, so there we go. We've got a line that's wider at the bottom and thin at the top. Whoa. We'll do the same thing over here. So we can make a line that kind of comes down and out. And we'll make it a little thicker here at the bottom. And then as I go up to the top, it gets thinner. And I'll color that in also. I don't know if this pen's gonna make it. We'll see. Might have to switch to another one. This one might be running out of ink. So I'm coloring in this bottom part, and I'm leaving that center line right where I drew it. I'm not doing anything to that center line. Just coloring in the thicker part of that one. So now it sort of looks like maybe a plant with a leaf. What we're going to do next is come off of this top center line. So let's go about right here, and we'll come down and make some more. And they'll be, again, thicker at the bottom and not touching that center area. But they do come up and kind of all meet right here. So same thing, I'll make another one. I'll give it that triangular thicker bottom part, but I'm not connecting it, like I'm not touching it to any of the other lines except for up here. So I'll do a couple on this side, and then I'll do a couple on this side that come up and join it, and then they'll be thicker at the bottom. So it's starting to look like this. So I'll do 2 on each side. So I'll do another one here and join it to that line, and then keep that triangle here at the bottom. And color that in. There we go. So I've got the first line, and then I have 2 on either side. So now I'm going to add 2 on the bottom. Same deal, and they don't have to line up right there. So on the bottom, I want to start at a higher point and come down. And then I'm going to make the triangle at the bottom of this one a little bit shorter. And I want the bottom of all these to follow the contour of that first line that we made. So I'll do 2 on this side, and then I will do 2 over here on this side. So now I'm going to add another one, coming down from there. And I'm not hitting that line. I'm getting very close, but I'm not hitting that line. This marker wants me to draw straight up and down with it. All right. So then I just want to smooth this out a little bit for my own sanity. There we go. So I have 2 on that. So this is the way we started. So this is my bottom line. And then I'll add 2 more coming from up here that go down. So here's 1. Give it that little triangle at the bottom. And then I'll do 1 more. So we've got, let's go, a triangle here, and we're going to meet it way up at the top, just like so. And then I'm trying to keep this triangle short. I seem to trend toward the bigger triangle, but I'm trying to keep it small. So now I have, on each side, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they don't have to match up here. Like these don't have to be together. It can be off. That's absolutely fine. Now, we're going to come off of the same shapes, but we're going to make it kind of a little bit curvier. So as we start coming off here, I'm going to go wee, and I'm going to curve out, and then I'll have one kind of come off of here and curve out as well. And then, of course, we'll do the same thing where we come along this contour that we already drew, and then I make that into a triangle. So I'll color that in. So I've got that one colored in, and then I'll color in this one. So these are getting much more S-shaped. So kind of like that. And really, we want them to be thicker at the bottom and thinner at the top. I don't know why mine are so thick, but whatever you're doing will be fine in the end. So then I'll do 2 over here, and I really want to super curve them. I want to start getting some real contour. So I'm going to go wee and give that some nice contour. And then I'll come up and add the triangle to the bottom and color it in just like we've done on the rest. So there's that one. And then I need to triangle off the bottom of this one. Sometimes when I am making these triangles and they're not going according to my plan, I just have to make them bigger. But I think that's fine. Mine aren't really following this contour very well, so I'm going to widen the bottom here and really make it be following that contour. All right, so now we'll do the same thing for the bottom. And we do want to come way out and curve around, so that we're really getting a nice little, kind of a little wavy pattern developing here. And then I'll add those triangles at the bottom. I say triangles, but yeah, I know they're kind of curvy. Kind of a swoopy triangle, huh? And then I'll color it in. And then I'll give this one a triangle at the bottom as well. That one turned out very large. I'm just not in a small triangle making mood today, I guess. My brain is thinking one thing, but what it's actually having my hand do is a little bit different. And that's all right, because the best thing about these little nonsense patterns that we draw is everyone can put their own spin on them. Yours won't look exactly like someone else's, hopefully. It's sort of like a fingerprint. Everybody has their own way of doing things. All right, so now I'm going to add 2 over here. And I'm going to start them a little further down so I can really swoop out. So I'll add my triangle at the base of this line. Get it nice and curvy. Color it in. And then I'll do the same. Wow, that was very raggedy over there on the edge. And I'll do the same to this one. So I'll add that curve to my triangle. All right, so I think this is how I started out. So this is my original orientation. Now we're going to start adding some lines and we'll finish out to the tips, but this time we're not going to go up really high. We're going to actually start a lot lower. So we're going to start way down here and make a line and then kind of come over this way. And then as we start getting to the end, we'll just make it pointy. And then I'll add triangles to the bottom here. Wherever I feel like making that triangle is fine. And then I'll do the same thing at the bottom of this line. I'm trying to stay kind of along the contour of the very first line that we made, but also make these little triangles feel like they're nested in a way. So then I'll make a triangle at the bottom here. And that is the edge. And I may need to come extend this line, but I'll do that in a little while. So now we'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to come down and keep drawing off of the same thing here. And this helps it retain a little bit of this shape. Let's connect that. But also to start feeling like it's going off to a point. So however many you feel like you need to get this edge the way you want it. So then I'll add my triangles at the bottom here, just like before, and color those in. Same here. Color that one in. And same here. Color in this one. And continue until I get to the end. So then I've got this one more at the very end. And I've got to figure out how to make this a triangle because it's a very oddly shaped line. So that's what I've got. Then we will do the same on the other side. So I'm going to flip it over. And if you remember, we kind of started here. And I'm going to make some interestingly curvy lines that sort of work off of one another and go straight to that point. Now I've got a little bit of weirdness here, so I'm just going to make this a little bit thicker. All right, so then let's make our triangles coming off of these lines. Color in. This one may have been a little bit big, but no take backs with the permanent marker, right? Okay, and then I'm going to triangle this one. And this one, I have to get kind of creative. And last one, just whatever feels right to you. So there's that, and then I have this one section left, so I'm going to turn my paper and I'll start adding these. So I can come down and really have an interesting contour here. And I'm coming toward the edge of my paper, so that's going to make it even more interesting, isn't it? And then we'll do one that meets here. So now I am almost done with the bulk of my design, and I'm just going to darken this line so it all looks like it comes together. So now I can add the bottom edge to these here, color that in, and same here. I'm going to go along that contour that I made for myself at the very beginning. Same here, so I'm going to try and just mind that bottom line contour. And same with this one. Just going to make it fit right in there. It doesn't fit very well, does it? That's okay. I'm not worrying about it. No one is the art boss of me. It's getting a little interesting here. And then this one. There we go. So we have the bulk of our design done. Now we get to decide, all right, what are we going to do with these edges? I think my little edge that's sticking off here, where this one comes up, I'm going to bring it around and give it a little swirly business there at the end. And maybe I'll do the same over here. Just round it off. And I can decide if I want more of those coming off here, which I think I do. I think I want another one here. And then maybe one is coming off this way. These are all optional. You can do this or you absolutely don't have to. You can leave yours just the way it is. But I'm going to go ahead and add those to mine. I like a little extra detailing. That's kind of fun. Color those in. And then I'll add some over here. Ooh, good times. So you can do as many or as few, or you can do some other design. I'm just winging it at this point because I love this little flourish detail. So we have that, and if you want to do something at the end where we have that initial line that came through, you can carry that line through and come on out like so. Let's make it curl over just a little bit. And then I'll do something similar over here. Let's see if I can stick between those two lines. That was a bit of a challenge. All right, so there is my finished little design. And if you want, you can add shading to it as well. So let's see, where would I shade? I'm going to move to my pencil now. Let's shade. I'm going to shade all kind of around the bottom here. So I'm still leaving space between that line and these shapes, but I'm kind of connecting them all with my pencil. I'm putting a little bit of that pencil down at the bottom. And I don't think it matters which side you do it on. Like if you do it over here, that's fine. I happened to start this way. So there we go. Maybe I'll put a little more here since I got a little heavier handed at the bottom there. So all the way down, I'll add that shade there. Then, let's see, maybe also along these top edges, just at the first part. So just along that top edge, and then maybe also this top edge. Let's see. Then, have some coming from over here, just at the edges. See what happens. So now I'm gonna get my either a blending stick or like a Q-tip. You can fold a little paper towel over and make your own blending stick if you don't have one. I have, this is called a tortillon, but there are other ways to make blending sticks. So if you need to make one or cut the fluffy top part off of a Q-tip and just use the paper part, you can do that as well. But I'm going to start just making a very gentle smudging motion so that it makes that pencil softer. It makes that shading softer. And then I'll do that same thing everywhere else I've added. So I have a little here, so I'm just going to soften that to where it looks more like a shadow and less like a lot of pencil lines. And then I'll do this part at the top also. Just smudging this and bringing it down. I don't want to color the whole thing gray. I want to make sure I do leave some white because that helps with our highlights. So then I'll go all around this little edge, smooth that pencil up towards the center. You can see how that's creating an interesting little contour. Making us have that illusion of shadow, which is really cool. And you even, I mean, you can use your finger up here. It just depends on how much pencil lead you want to get on your hands. Sometimes that's not ideal, but you can absolutely use your finger to shade. So you can see how that one has quite a bit more dimension to it than this one does. So if we want, can go and do that same thing on this side. So I'm going to add that graphite right down the edge, right up through here, and then I'll continue kind of connecting these with that pencil. And I'm not drawing hard with this pencil. I'm thinking to myself, I just want to lay this graphite on the paper. I don't want to be drawing or making a big indentation in the paper if I can help it. Sometimes you just get very excited and you do. But let's try to be light with this. Very, very light as we apply it to the page. And make sure that we're leaving that little bit of white there along that spine. That is where it looks really magical at the end. All right, so now I'm going to blend that out. And I'm going to blend along the bottom first and then work my way upward, right? There we go. I want to get rid of the scratchy looking pencil lines and make these look more like a simple shadow. Slowly work the graphite out this way. And you can kind of add shade where, excuse excuse me, wherever you choose. So you can shade it the same way on both edges, or you don't have to. I think I am probably going to just go ahead and I'm going to add some shade back here. Maybe make it look like there's some shadow coming from this back edge of that curve, and maybe I'll do a little here as well. Just a little bitty bit. And then up here there's more because it is a kind of a thicker piece. But I'll gently pull that this way, very gently, and I'll let that be the end of my design. So you can always box it in, shade it more, try some other things, but I think you're really gonna enjoy this one. And again, the name of this one is, let's see if I can fit everything in the camera. Hey, I did it. So this is Mysealiam, and I think it's fun. It's fun if you do it with a lot of little tiny lines, but as you can see, I did not. And I'm going to go ahead and put my little Zentangle signature in this one. So I'll just add it right here. It's a circle with a K for Kasey, and then a little heart right there. So that's how I sign all of my Zentangle pieces. All right, I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope yours turned out well, and I hope that sometime in the future, maybe you will do this in your spare time. Enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me. I always love to have you here. Love to help you learn new ways to do things. I will see you next time.